Hey everyone, Kat and I are here for our monthly art talk. And I'm wondering, Kat, what's been up with you this last month?
Well, it's been an interesting month. And, summer tends to be a little bit slower, but this summer isn't. I was contacted by a winery in Sonoma to do art for a wine label for them. And, it's one of these things I've always wanted to do. So I was super excited to hear from them. Did the artwork and now it's there in their gallery and it'll be assigned to a harvest this year. And then the wine will actually come out next year with my art, on the label. And I'm not the only artist that they use artists
Uh-huh.
all the time. So, and it's a great, I'm in really good company. So it was when I saw the artist list, I felt super honored. Some, artists that I have hugely admired over the years are on the list. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, they're picking me. So
Right.
it was really a surprise.
So I'm kind of wondering, were there parameters on what you had to do for this label?
Yes, yes. So the label had to be a very specific, the artwork had to be a very specific size. So it's kind of an offset rectangle. So it's not a
Mhm.
canvas or a piece of paper you would be able to buy. So I had a custom canvas made. I actually did two designs, two paintings, because I
Hmm.
just liked the whole idea. And then the other thing was they have a Parthenon replica on their estate. So you had to have a Parthenon in the artwork.
Oh my, not something
Yeah.
that you normally do.
No. And but I just loved the challenge because
Mhm.
you can look on their website and see how other artists incorporated it into their work. And it's some of them it's very obvious, and others you have to kind of find it. And
Mhm.
I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And, the curator invites artists, like they handpick who they want, and
Mhm.
you can say no. But, I don't know why you would say no.
Right.
So, those were the parameters. And, there were deadlines and this and that.
Uh-huh.
So,
Were there any parameters about palette?
no, no, you just, you're doing
Uh-huh.
your own work.
It was
So
the Parthenon. That was the big thing.
yeah, that had to be in there. That's kind of
Uh-huh. Okay.
something that you would see if you would go, to the owner's
Right.
estate. So yeah.
I will look forward to seeing your painting or your label, you know?
Yeah, no, it was a really nice surprise.
Hmm. Good. That's great. Well, as for me, as many of you know, my mother passed away last month, and I've been all busy with things relating to that and was sick with COVID and everything. And all of a sudden, I received a phone call from the promoters of Art Santa Fe offering my spouse and I a booth on such favorable terms we could not refuse them. you know
Wow.
so all of a sudden I find myself madly getting ready for an art fair, which is it's July 14th. Hanging is July 13th. It's the
Oh
weekend
my
of the 16th at the Santa Fe Convention Center, and I had to be gone last week cleaning out her house and getting it ready
God.
to list for sale. So I'm only today back starting up, with getting my preparations. I did curate the booth before I left, and I
Yeah.
realized when I was on the airplane that I actually misadded the inches on one of the walls. So I had to rethink what I was going to do, which
Yeah.
means I now have to quickly come up with a 60 by 36-inch painting to fill a little space I thought might be bigger.
Right.
And maybe one or two 36 by 36s. But I got my master list that I usually use for these kind of events. And I'm kind of going down the tasks, trying to get them done quickly. But the only reason why we could even consider participating is A, we had enough work of the correct size that I could make it work. And B, we've done it before.
Hmm.
And C, I've got this list and I know what to do.
Yeah.
If
Well,
this was our first rodeo, I would have had to politely decline. But it's a super fun kind of thing to do. Whether you sell anything or not, it's great exposure, and it'll be fun to set our work up in a gallery type setting and take a bunch of photographs. We haven't done this since 2019.
Oh,
So
wow. Wow.
yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And good news is it's local. All we have to do is get the work there. It's 4 miles from our studio.
Oh,
So
that's super
it's so much
convenient.
easier than going away to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what a great opportunity. And
Yeah.
you guys have done how many art fairs?
I think 7.
Right. So this is,
Yeah.
you have this master list because you've
Right.
done this before. So you have like a checklist that you
A
use as well.
checklist.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's huge to just know
Huge.
what to do.
We know what to do.
Yeah.
And the only snafu so far is that the convention center has underground parking, and the clearance is 7 feet, and these 10-foot U-Haul trucks are 9 feet clearance. So we're gonna have to figure out, you have to unload in the back of the convention center, but you're not allowed to park there for an indefinite amount of time. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with this truck after we unload and start hanging. I think one of us will have to drive it home and then
Yeah.
take the
Yeah.
car and come back. But it's
Right.
only 10 minutes away or 15 minutes, so it's not a big deal. But I've been trying to strategize that little problem.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be the
really
easiest thing to
yeah.
bring it home, or you could fold it. Try to
Right.
fold that truck a little bit smaller and squeeze it into the
Right.
garage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's coming right up around the corner.
Well, that is super exciting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I just
It'll be
thought of
fun.
one other thing that I wanted to mention. So I got called from a gallery that I used to be represented by. And, we always talk about this, that you don't want to burn any bridges. And I
Mhm.
left on favorable terms. It just wasn't a good match. And interestingly, the owner has called me a few times this year, and I'm doing 2 giant commissions for their clients.
Well, that's great.
And so, you never know like what's going to come your way because they have an art consulting arm. So they're always doing projects and they're always looking for the right fit.
Mhm.
And so he said, well, your website's easy to use. And I've been watching your work on Instagram.
Mhm.
And again, it
Great.
kind of made me think about how you don't really know who's looking at your Instagram account or coming to your website.
Right.
So it's kind of a nice surprise, and they're fun. They're fun commissions to do.
Oh, that's great.
So
And
yeah,
you do never know who's looking, and
right,
you shouldn't burn any bridges.
right.
I think I'm at pains always to, part on favorable terms if that's what's going to happen, because you
Yeah,
never know
most
when
definitely.
you might go back.
No, absolutely.